Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Officials in Trinidad and Tobago lament the economic calamity of Sandals scrapping a major resort. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, January 16th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. A colossal loss for Trinidad and a devastating blow to Tobago's tourism thrust. The reaction of Tourism Minister Randall Mitchell and Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Kelvin Charles, to Sandals Resort International's announcement that it will not go ahead with a multi-million-dollar resort that was to be a major economic driver for the Twin Island Republic. Sandals on Tuesday announced that it was pulling the project, citing constant and ongoing negative publicity. The tourism minister on Wednesday lamented the decision that he says has cost the country an opportunity of a lifetime. More in this report from Jesse Ramdeo of CNC3 News.
The withdrawal of Sandals Resorts International from the Tobago project is being seen by Tourism Minister Randall Mitchell as a colossal loss for the country.
What they lost was an incredible opportunity to have such a world-class brand come to our shores and stimulate our tourism industry in the way that Sandals has stimulated the Grenadian economy, the St. Lucian economy, and other economies in the Caribbean. The people of Tobago lost. The taxi drivers lost. The tour operators lost. Those are the persons who lost, not the PNM.
With the company's CEO citing negative publicity as the deciding factor to pull out, Mitchell says it was entitled to guard its reputation in the face of what he describes as the peddling of petty agendas.
Devant Mirage, Watson Duke, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, what do they have to say to the people, to the future generations who would have lost out on this opportunity? Are they going to hire those people and provide opportunities? Definitely not.
Mitchell is refuting allegations that the Sandals deal was shrouded in secrecy, saying government acted with transparency and kept the public informed of milestones along the way. He adds the deal had not advanced far enough to identify the extent of the financial commitment by government, and the figures bandied about for the cost of construction were mere speculation.
The persons who were opposed to these projects, the persons who had these petty agendas, they based their argument on pure speculation and conjecture. That was all it was. We had not gotten to the point of settling the design for the hotel, the number of rooms, the footprint. So how could we know what would be the cost? We simply did not know what the cost was. We did not get to that point.
Mitchell is maintaining that the collapse of the Sandals deal is linked directly to a campaign of steady misinformation by the opposition. According to a statement issued by opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa, the withdrawal came as no surprise after the government withheld information from the public and dismissed concerns on it.
Meantime, the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly says the loss of the project, which was to be the biggest ever undertaken by Sandals Group, is a devastating blow.
Tremendously disappointed, simply because when one looks at the issue, it is not only Sandals pulling out, but really and truly what is happening is that one is seeing hundreds, thousands of job opportunities literally walking away. Hundreds of Tobagonians and indeed Trinidadians as well, literally robbed of a chance to earn a living. What we are seeing is a missed opportunity to diversify our economy, to earn valuable foreign exchange at a time when there are issues surrounding earning and utilization of foreign exchange, as well as the need to provide a fillip or a boost to other sectors of the Tobago economy.
But unlike Charles, the minority leader of the Tobago House of Assembly, Watson Duke, isn't broken up about the development. In fact, he's welcomed Sandals' decision, saying it would save the island's wetlands. And opposition leader Kamla Prasad-Besessar has called for fresh general elections in the country, saying the position that Sandals withdrew the project based on negative publicity is bordering on absurd and is just another attempt by the Keith Rowley-led administration to deflect attention from its incompetence. The Barbados Parliament has passed legislation to rein in spending and increase accountability by the current and future governments. Prime Minister Mia Mottley says the Public Finance Management Bill will place a cap on contingencies, prevent the Central Bank of Barbados from overprinting money, and allow for an independent audit of government's finances. She told lawmakers on Tuesday that the legislation was needed in light of the former administration amassing a $15 million debt before leaving office in May last year.
No government in this country must ever be allowed to act in a manner in which the last government acted, with impunity, hiding under the cover of night, nothing to show for what they did to take money from innocent taxpayers. And we have come here conscious that this piece of legislation is not about getting even with the previous government. This piece of legislation is about the future. This piece of legislation is about the standards to which we bind ourselves as a government in good faith.
The Grenada government says it's moving ahead with plans to increase pension for public sector workers to 70%. This is even as the authorities remain in a dispute with trade unions and staff associations over gratuity. Trade, Industry and Cooperatives Minister Oliver Joseph, who's also chairman of government's Pension Engagement Committee, said the government promised to address the concerns of hundreds of workers who are retiring with only a national insurance scheme, NIS pension, and it's now fulfilling that promise. He explained that the increase is a top-up of the pension paid by the NIS, which ranges generally from 30 to 58%, but can reach a maximum of 60%. Earlier this month, Joseph wrote Labour Commissioner Cyrus Griffith, indicating that a deadlock had been reached with the unions and staff associations regarding advanced payment of pension or gratuity. But he said the parties have agreed on a pension of 70% for public officers, although the other issue remains unresolved. The Keith Mitchell government has offered to pay 8% gratuity with reduced pension for 8 years, but the unions and staff associations have maintained their demand for 25% gratuity, which the government said it simply cannot afford. St. Lucia's opposition leader Philip J. Pierre says despite Prime Minister Alan Chasney painting a picture of an improved economic situation in the country, the latest official figures show otherwise. We get the details in this HTS News Force report.
What amazes me is the way lies are told where there is no need to lie.
The opposition, St. Lucia Labour Party, led by Philip J. Pierre, isn't buying the logic in Prime Minister Alan Chasney's State of the Nation New Year's address delivered on January 13th. Pierre stopped short of calling Prime Minister Chasney a liar, but offered contrasting explanations and attempts to clarify issues raised in the State of the Nation speech. He see $3.1 billion in public debt accrued by 2016, according to the Prime Minister, did not go unchallenged by Pierre's opposition, who also flagged the government's accounting process for the US $100 million loan guarantee passed in Parliament for the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority to undertake construction of a new terminal in the Uranora International Airport.
I suspect that was the same culprit who misled the IMF. And I'm very surprised the IMF did not check. I'm surprised that the IMF actually put that in a document, in an official document, without checking it. The government had to come to the Parliament to make the debt a contingent liability, because there is nothing. SLASPA is a body within the country. You understand? SLASPA is not a board. SLASPA is like anything in the country, but the government is the one who owns the ports. So that was, again, that was speaking an untruth when there is no need to lie.
Line by line, Pierre and his opposition members examined the Prime Minister's assertions and pushed back with questions on political hot topics, including healthcare.
We are told that there would be universal health insurance for all in place by the end of 2018. But where are we? The Prime Minister must tell St. Lucians what has happened to Health City Cayman, and is it true that negotiations have started with a Latin American health provider to replace Health City Cayman?
I do not trust what the Prime Minister says about banana exports, about tourism figures, about DSH. I don't trust anything he says.
The Prime Minister's claim of high banana exports in years was placed under the microscope by Shadow Agriculture Minister Moses Jean-Baptiste.
That is not what he said in the campaign. He said that they had actually signed a contract for bananas to be shipped every week to Martinique and to France. But today, we are faced with the real possibility that many St. Lucian farmers will not be able to export bananas to England.
After the break, a call for a regional solution to the problem of crime and violence among the youth.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Well, welcome back. CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque says the problem of youth crime and violence demands a regional solution. He made the call as youth activists from across the Caribbean gathered in Guyana for a summit dealing specifically with the issue. The two-day event is focused mainly on how to prevent violence among at-risk youths.
Crime and security is an issue that is having an impact on all our member states. It is a regional problem that demands a regional solution. It not only requires the full cooperation of all our countries, but also all the stakeholders within the member states.
Ambassador LaRocque said the Crime Prevention Action Plan and the CARICOM Youth Development Action Plan are two of the main policy frameworks which guide the design and implementation of policy and programs in member states to address crime and violence from a prevention perspective and through addressing the underlying social factors. He said they also seek to create an enabling environment for adolescent and youth well-being, empowerment and participation in national and regional development. But he told the delegates that, notwithstanding the value of those projects and programs put in place to deal with crime and violence in the region, he's of the firm view the core of the battle must be fought in the home. The Bahamas, confident it has satisfied the EU's demands, Barbados' Prime Minister wants the region to better manage its savings, and Tobago counts the cost of Sandals' withdrawal. That's all coming up in Newsline Business.
Newsline Business is brought to you by Solar Dynamics.
Tobago is counting its losses from the Sandals pullout this week. Sandals Resorts International announced its decision on Tuesday to withdraw its participation in the establishment of a multi-million-dollar resort on the island. Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Kelvin Charles, says the Sandals project would have provided employment in the services, construction and agriculture sectors. And President of the Tobago Hoteliers Association, Christopher James, says it will also have implications for all-inclusive resorts.
If we do not have all-inclusive hotels, such as the Sandals, then we are losing 20% of a potential market that is traveling to the Caribbean.
Yes.
And that is a challenge because to get non-stop flights, we have to fill the whole of the flight.
Yeah.
So we need, in Tobago, we have roughly about 1,000, 1,100 tour operator quality rooms. We have stated, and it's in the THA development plan, that we need a minimum of 2,500 rooms to get non-stop flights.
Over in the Bahamas, the Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest is confident that Nassau has satisfied the European Union's demands for tax reform. Turnquest's comments come as Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis meets with EU officials in Brussels this week.
We've met all of our timelines. We've submitted our legislation. They are now evaluating that, and we are confident that we will meet the standard as outlined to us in their scoping documents. We are consistent with other jurisdictions of similar circumstance, and so we fully expect that we will be found to be in compliance with these new standards.
Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley wants CARICOM member states to better manage their savings to encourage regional growth. Mottley was addressing the recent launch of the island's Enterprise Growth Fund.
At the regional level, before the last CARICOM single market meeting in Trinidad and Tobago, we asked the Governor of the Central Bank to give us the figures with respect to the savings that are available within the Caribbean community, the CSME countries. And the number was $47 billion US. We are in a far better position to be able to finance our development, but we are simply not acting with the strategic purpose that we ought to be acting. And we are allowing a scattershot approach to diffuse the benefits that can otherwise accrue to us of that level of accumulated savings.
Mottley's Barbados Labour Party has been working to turn around the economy since taking up office in May last year. Mary-Claire Williams, Newsline Business.
Newsline Business was brought to you by Solar Dynamics.
Shower in the morning, shower in the evening, or take a fresh at night. Enjoy a warm shower with Solar Dynamics, you feel alright. Comfort, safety, temperature guaranteed. Long service, fulfilling your every need. Take a shower in comfort, no more upstream water touch you. Solar Dynamics is the best for you. Save on electricity, be environmentally friendly. Solar Dynamics is the one for you.
Ahead in Newsline Sport, a West Indies cricket legend tipped to be the next assistant head coach of the Guyana Jaguars. We'll tell you who when we return.
Follow your heart to St. Kitts and make plans to join us at the 23rd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival. 5 days of world-class entertainment from Wednesday, June 26th to Sunday, June 30th, 2019. See Butcher Banton live as he makes his epic return to St. Kitts. Also, French Montana and Davido. Popcorn and the legendary Smokey Robinson. This is just the first wave of announcements. Many more acts to come. For more information, log on to StKittsMusicFestival.com. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
valleys too.
West Indies cricket legend Shivnarayan Chandapal is tipped to be the next assistant head coach of the Guyana Jaguars. This after Isan Crandon was promoted to assistant coach for the West Indies senior men's squad. We get more in this Newsroom Guyana report.
After more than 2 decades, 268 one-day internationals and 164 test matches, Shivnarayan Chandapal, one of West Indies' finest batsmen, retired in 2016. Chandapal finished as the second highest West Indian test run maker. It is 6 runs short of Brian Lara. Lara got 11,953 runs. Though after hanging up the international gloves, he continued playing first-class cricket, but has not played since August 2018 for Lancashire. A veteran of the game, the 44-year-old is understood to have a Level 2 accreditation as a coach, and is in line to be the new assistant coach of the Guyana Jaguars. This revelation was made by Secretary of the Guyana Cricket Board, Anand Sanasi, in an exclusive interview with Newsroom Sport on Monday.
It's kind of premature, but we have about 2 or 3 options. And one of those options is Mr. Chandrapal, who, as you know, is a Level 2 coach, but he is Chandrapal. Exactly. So we need to make a decision on that.
Julian Moore among those, sir?
He is one under consideration. So we have coaches who are capable. However, we would like to bring more Level 3 coaches into the academy setup so that in the future we don't have to go very far to look. And we will also like to run off a Level 1, Level 2 coaching program in short stead, so we can, have an abundance of coaches to choose from.
Ryan Griffith, who undertook the duties as manager and assistant coach under Crandon, seems to be the man to take up the new role.
We're having a few options. We're looking at the best way forward for the team. Issa's appointment is until the end of the World Cup, which is at the end of September. Thereafter, how he moves on at the West Indies level, or if he's back with us, or in whatever way, we have to also plan for that. So our planning is, has encompassed any eventuality. We're looking at a few options now. It has not been decided as yet. We're looking at making that decision latest this Wednesday to have an arrangement in place.
2 top Jamaican sports personalities have taken to social media complaining about the island's Anti-Doping Commission's anti-doping policies. But as we hear in this report by TVJ's Jordan Fort, the Commission's boss is defending those rules.
I retired from track and field, working to become a footballer. But look at this. How am I going to get drug tests today? How? I'm not even a professional footballer yet. Seriously.
That complaint from the world's fastest man isn't unique. Athletes have often complained about being unfairly targeted, over-tested, or just ill-treated during testing. Here's another example from West Indies cricketer Marlon Samuels.
Vampires, them come from my blood so early in the morning, knock on my door, Jadko, and them want to shoot them needle in my hand. And so if I got you, you saw now them wicked. 22 years I play cricket, right? Every drugs test me do. First time I ever do a blood test in Jamaica with Jadko.
And the Jamaica anti-doping officials have had their own run-ins with athletes, most notably in 2017 when they lost a case involving Olympian Khalees Spencer based on procedural issues. JADCO chairman Alexander Williams responded to those concerns.
There needed to be a change in management. That change in management has taken place. There needed to be a tightening up of how the doping control officers were trained. That has happened.
As for the practice of athletes posting grouses on social media, Williams, who is also an attorney at law, gave this piece of advice.
If any athlete has a dispute and I'm just talking to athletes there, for your own benefit, the last thing you want to do is to make it public. The last thing you want to do, whether you feel you're in the right or in the wrong, you don't go out in the public.
And finally, Guyanese hockey team Supernova finished third in a recent hockey festival. More in this HGP Sport report.
The Guyana's indoor developmental hockey team, Supernova, played with resilience and gave Trinidad and Tobago Police Force a fight for their space in the semi-finals, a fight which they eventually lost, but left traces of excellence in the psyche of their opponent. This fight saw them trail Trinidad and Tobago Police Force, who scored from 2 penalty corners in the 3rd and 15th minute of the game, giving TNT the advantage of 2 goals in the first half. The second half was entertaining for the fans, as Supernova's Hopkinson made it 1-2 in the 21st minute. Warren Williams then equalized in the 26th minute. The game continued on an adrenaline rush for the players and fans. A shootout ended tie on 1-1 after the allotted 3 rounds, and it took an additional 5 rounds of sudden death before TTPF won 4-3. 5 minutes later, Guyana took on Paragon, and clearly disappointed youngsters came out with heads high and shoulders square against the same team who had defeated them in the Venture's 3rd place playoff 5-3. However, this time around, it was the Guyanese who took home 3rd place 5-4 through a Kareem McKenzie goal and doubles from Hopkinson and Williams.
That's the sport. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
Shower in the evening or take a fresh at night. Enjoy a warm shower with Solar Dynamics, you feel alright. Comfort, safety, temperature guaranteed. Long service fulfilling your every need. Take a shower in comfort, no more upstream water touch you. Solar Dynamics is the best for true. Save on electricity, be environmentally friendly. Solar Dynamics is the one for you.
A recap of the major developments of this day. Officials in Trinidad and Tobago lament the economic calamity of Sandals scrapping a major resort project. And in sport, West Indies cricket legend Shivnarine Chandapal tipped to be the next assistant head coach of the Guyana Jaguars. And that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, subscribe to CanonNews.com. And for more of our programming, log on to caribvision.tv and check out our YouTube channel. We'll be back here again tomorrow, but from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and good night.